Hey everyone, welcome back. Jeff Newell here, walking through John's and my combined campaign of In a Dark Woods and Less Than 60 Miles. We're going to go through the 1200 turn today, both Warsaw Pack and NATO turns. It's going to be a long one. Grab a cup of coffee or your favorite IPA, and I will walk you through it and kind of hit the highlights and such. So we're starting at 1200. You can see the East Germans are coming in the north. John's definitely starting to pick some routes of opportunity. Normally he's very set like the Soviets would be, but in this case he's seeing openings, and you'll see how he's going to exploit them. And we're going to have our first combat. I'll scroll down so you can see the Soviets here, and here come the Czechs, and they're moving really quick as well. So let's just start clicking around. You'll just see a fair amount. We did a little bit of bombarding, targets of opportunity. He just keeps hammering me. It definitely, I'm not going to lie, it's getting frustrating as NATO. No air. All the helos are off there, are in a different mode because they had to run and hide. It's tough. It's you're definitely the whipping boy, and will be for at least 4 or 5 more turns. But that's where the fun is, right? So at least that's what I keep telling myself. So I use some bombardment to try to slow them down a little bit, throw a little interdiction out there, and if I can half engage a unit, that takes half their movement points. That's about as much as I can do. So this is John looking for his supply hubs. Sorry, I had to deal with that. It's tough playing with a senior citizen. He hides his Easter eggs, and then he gets to go look for them because he forgets where they are, and it's kind of the same thing with supply hubs for him. So, but we have to respect our elders. So he's doing his bombardments here. He's just trying to half engage me as well. So if he does hit me, they're not in a good shape. This was me trying to hit some of his lead units. It's so desperate that I'm actually bombarding with helicopters, which normally you don't want to do because they can get shot down easier. But we don't have a lot of choices as NATO. So he's going to do his first combat in this area. I'm going to zoom in. I'm not going to walk you through it step by step. What I'm going to tell you is this was a vintage John attack. He's going to hit me with Mazel. He's already half engaged my screening unit. I'm still feeling pretty good. I'm behind a river. I'm in a town. I'm screen. I'm armor. Well, pretty quickly, with all his artillery, and John did a vintage John. He's going to spend 1 to attrit the wreck, which is going to give him 2 shifts. He's going to spend sappers, which gives him another 2 shifts. So just there, using recon and sappers, he's got +4 shifts, and that you'll see why that maxes this one out on the chart. So just going to keep going through this. He got 2 hits on me, and then I tried to pull back. I did pull back, but I took a hit doing it. I'll zoom back a little bit. Here come the East Germans in the north. This is probably the attack. Yeah, here comes the attack. He was looking at it earlier. We walked through the chart. He got me. I pulled back. Again, it's tough because I don't have my helicopters to support disengagement. I don't have airs to support disengagement. Usually when you have recon and screen and you disengage, you're in pretty good shape. You're probably not going to take a loss. But he was half engaged. I wanted to get him support. So he successfully disengaged, but he took another loss. Now he's running one of those. He's got those 2 crazy battalions that were called operational maneuver groups that the Soviets had, and they just kind of went out front. They're attached to the army, and they're in road, so I'm not worried about him attacking me. I just don't like seeing the red going this far to the west. He does it up north as well. He's thinking about what he's going to do over there. Let me grab the next log file. I think I've got it all ready for you guys. I do. And now he's moving down south, or in the middle, where I'm kind of vulnerable. I've got a little line established along the man. 3rd ID here, 1st armor down here. So I feel okay about that. I'm definitely not. This gap is where he's really going to make some hay. But there's only so much I can do. So here comes more Soviets down. And here come the Czechs. Look at the Czechs. They saw my guy in tactical and just decided, let's just go around him. Because remember, road across country is pretty quick as well, because you're not paying for the refugees on the highway. So it's really only about one more. So he's just going where I'm not. Here comes second echelon. You can see right now, my concern is there's nothing between these guys and getting to the river. And while I've got guys there in tactical, I really want them in defensive posture. I gave them an order, but they're not going to be switched over until 0600. They're still 6 turns away, so he'll get there first. If I could slow him down in any way, I'm going to try. That's where in the operational surprise game, I'd have a lot more air power. I'd be able to throw down a lot more interdiction. I'd have reinforcements screaming in. I would have had more command points. I'm not saying this is a complaint. I'm just saying that's why this is so wide open. And that's what we wanted to see what this would look like. And we're finding out. Might go down and, one of Jeff's terrible decisions to agree to the strat surprise. I don't think so. We're having fun. So, this is now where he's going to, I think originally these guys would have gone the usual route down into Fulda, but they've got an opening. My West Germans have moved up here as fast as they can. My first armored back here is just getting into road, which now I'm regretting, because if they scream up here, they're going to be in road formation. The only good news is John's pretty much in road formation as well. But, here they come. Thank goodness I got the one interdiction there, or it would have been even worse. But you're going to see there's not a lot between them and France, basically. He was just counting lots of different possible options of where they could go. Here comes these guys. You'll see sometimes we throw a time marker on the on a unit during the move phase. We allow each other, if we find a unit that hasn't moved and we realize we wanted to do an authorized posture change, we just do it during the movement phase. It doesn't hurt or it doesn't affect anything. We do that with engineers as well a lot of times. I think he's just wrapping up his movement. All right, this is me starting to, so we've transitioned over to me. I'm just starting to move my time markers off my authorized posture changes. And then we're going to do a little bit of bombardment. Oh, I finally bringing out some supply hubs. That cost me 1 command point per in strategic. I actually was able to resupply. There's a lot of modifiers on the first turn, but I did roll for supply. But I've only got 1 supply hub, so it wasn't that big of a deal. This is me doing a little bit of bombardment. I rolled really well on that one. I actually got a hit on him, and I slowed him down. I want to hit this paratrooper because if I can half engage him, I could have really leveled that guy. He's a soft target, but I rolled, I think, a 1, which I do a lot of in this game. Wait till you see my force march rolls. It's pretty depressing. So I bombarded him. I thought about bombarding some other guys. That was about it. Now John hits me back. John, for the first time in the game, he's going to use interdiction because he knows I'm trying to move my units into position. He'll occasionally pop a guy in road because he can really hit my rockets and really hurt them. This is my headquarters I just rebuilt. So they're in move. They come out in move, so he can hit them right away. So let's see if they even survive a turn. He rolls a 2, and I'm going to switch them out of move so quickly. All right, and then let's add the next log file. Please stand by. So I think he just finished his bombardment. So now we're going to do me, and this is when I'm looking at, do I want to do any posture changes right now? And I don't think I find any, or if I do, maybe they'll be during the move. I throw a couple orders out there. I decided rather than hog up command points with a brigade defend, even if I can get 1 battalion into defense, that'll help in some areas. So I just did a couple battalion level defend. Even that is going to take 5 turns because of the special rules and delays and the fact that the West Germans don't have a corps headquarters up top and 7th Corps doesn't have a corps headquarters. So something to think about. Supply. I was able to move back a little bit. I put some EW, some more EW. Now I'm doing my engineer phase. Simultaneously, I'm trying to blow the bridges that I've already mined. And I'm going to put out new mines. Luckily, both those blew. Again, it's a minor river. And oh, by the way, it doesn't even look like he's coming that way, but it felt really good to blow those bridges. You take the little victories when you're NATO. I think my next couple blows fail, and so I immediately put a new engineer out just to rewire the bridge. That one failed. That was a pity. And now we're going to start moving. So I was kind of feeling good about it. I got this brigade. I could block here. I could block here, slow him down. His interdiction was great, though. And so you'll start to see me. I'm going to force march just about everybody. It's only attrition on 1 to 4. I roll 1, I think, 5 out of 6 times on these attempts. So this guy's, yep, he actually did, he said, screw the interdiction. I'm going to take an attrition point because I really wanted him there. Because look, now I feel a little bit better. These guys will have to go around him, and that's okay if that's what they choose to do. So here was my artillery. I've got him over here. But you can see right now, basically, I have 1 battalion to stop this East German division, and I have 1 battalion to stop this East German division. So that's kind of the ratio a lot of times. All right, these guys are moving up on road. Again, going cross country isn't too bad when you're in column. It's a 3 as compared to the road's a 2. So I just went around where he was interdicting. Still trying to get my German headquarters up front. Get the artillery up that he's picking on. I successfully disengaged that guy. I think he's in a much better position, and now he throws out his recon zone, screen zone all the way up to here, so that'll slow them down, force them to go more north. I would love if he comes through the middle, because that's where I'm going to have my whole line of defense pretty soon, but I don't think he's going to fall for that. Bringing that guy up. Here comes 3rd Armored. I'm actually sending someone in the 3rd Armored down to what's going to be the 8th Infantry Division area of responsibility. But I don't want this guy flying, so he's going to come down here. We're still moving along, just checking some ranges. I'll probably put all these road guys into tactical next turn. Here comes the 8th. There's not a really fast way to get to where they need to go. And I'm setting up an attack to get those paratroopers. We'll see if I decide to do it. Here comes 3rd ID. Originally, I wanted them to form a defensive line here. They're still going to do that. It's just they're going to have a defensive line side by side with some paratroopers. They're going to have to go take them out. Here comes the West Germans. I'm trying to pull back. Now that I see that these guys are coming here, and I see with his access of advance, these guys are most likely going to come down this way. They might take a turn and come this way. I want to be ready for both. I successfully rolled a rest, so he brings back attrition. He gets an attrition point back because I rolled a 9. Had to roll really high with the DRM. I'm just trying to get my huge arty park set up here. I'm going to try to put a supply hub here that will both simultaneously resupply my helos and them. Just tweaking the movements a little bit, and then I'm just trying to throw anybody out here. I'm really hoping I'll get this order in time for him to be in screen, but I got a feeling these guys are going to get there way before I'm able to switch over. We'll see. I'm moving these guys up. Anything I can do to try to slow these guys down. I'm doing. The good news is they're in road, so I've got a feeling if I know John's going to try to push these guys up to right about here. And then Knight's going to hit, and that's when he'll switch all these guys over into Mazel. So we'll see. Pulling the headquarters back, moving these guys back. This is one of my trickiest ones because I don't want these guys to come this way. So I moved him up a little bit, but I also don't want to just open up the middle. So real cat and mouse here. And I think that's just about it. Oh, no, I found a couple more guys. And then I've got a combat for you if you all want to stick around. So I will pull out the chart on this one. I didn't do it exactly line by line. Apologies, but I think you'll get a good feel for it. So we are going to do this. Let me bring the chart down. I did have the chart kind of join. It's pretty big, but I think you can kind of see where the combat is and where this stuff is. Normally, John and I would do this live, but this was a simple combat. I just texted him on the side and said, hey, I assume you want to do your 1 artillery. Because it's paratroopers, he can't add in air or any of those types of things. So he didn't have a lot of choices here. He's not going to withdraw before the combat. So here we go. It's going to start with combat differential. I'll zoom in a little bit on this map. He says he'll zoom in. So it's going to be 5 to 3. So we start with a 2. We allocate our artillery. He has 1, I have 5. It's a push. It's a 1-to-1 nothing. Posture, he's going to get, there's no EW. Cadre's a push. We're both 5s. Posture, he's going to get the advantage there. Down 1. Terrain, he's in a town, so he's down another. Then attrition is a +1, and half engaged is another +1. And I get 2 for adjacent. Adjacent's huge in this system. Command, he's out of command. I don't know why he has not switched his headquarters over. It does take a command point, but you kind of in essence have 1 command point as a paratrooper unit, so that hurts. That gives me a +3. That's why I ended up doing this attack. Disorg is actually -3. I said -2. I correct it later. So I'm on the 5 table, and I roll a 5, which is a 0-1. Even when I correct it, it's still a 0-1. That's how combat works. So we do some housekeeping, pull all the markers, and I'll spare you the rest. We finish up the 1200 turn. Next up will be the 1500 turn. And I'm sad that this program that I use, which is simple, I literally just hit record and it does the screen and the video and the audio is going away. So I'm going to try to get as many recordings as possible. So hope you're enjoying this. Put comments on Discord or underneath here on YouTube or wherever you'd like, and I'll try to address them.